So we'll take this bottom burner bit out and we'll go and have a bit of a squiz on the old bench or something. If I can find the right Allen key. So that's the burner that I decided to use, and there's various sizes you can buy online, and I was going to put two of them this size in, but one of them's definitely adequate enough. And time, like I said, what I potentially will do before that is get two gas bottles, because I've got another regulator which runs this alright. So that's what we'll work on as well, is getting that sort of sorted out. So we'll shut that. And like I said earlier, this works really good, except when it's blowing. In the summer of 2020, from humble beginnings, we started a channel, and this is our journal. With limited finance, what started with the need for a rotating fly tying vise, we went to making knives, 2x72 belt grinders, and here and there an outdoor oven or two. The ultimate goal is to build an off-grid cabin in the woods, but for now, we work with what we have, we do what we do, and we welcome you to follow along with our humble journey. We can't guarantee what's coming around the corner or what's coming next, but we genuinely hope you can sit back and enjoy our journey as much as we are. The old outdoor oven, and the progression of, and that's what the subject of this video is all about. And I have to say there's something primal about sitting and watching a fire on a coolish sort of day like it is today, just letting something burn and having a good look. And if you're into wilderness type stuff, one thing I've found is just these, if you can see them, FPOS receipts. You get thousands of them over the years, and they're very good for starting campfires, in my opinion. It's easy, light, so we'll give it a go, lighting it. Even if you can see that, of course the lighter doesn't work. There we go. We'll get a little bit of a fire going and we'll talk about what's coming next, yeah. So this is a second outdoor oven that I ever built. It's got the bottom there that burns, I don't know if you can see it. And in there you put the stuff, getting a bit rusty and worn. Done. Put a bit of fire in there. Bit of wood. Get it rolling. Sit back and enjoy, yeah. That's the idea of what's going on. Put that there, that's all good. Get a bit of wind, get in her, and away we go. So this is the second outdoor oven that I built. First one, same, was actually designed sort of on a coal range type situation. So naturally you can see that burns wood, but what I've done, I've progressed, I've moved on, I've moved to a different property, as you might have seen if you look back over some of the videos, and I don't have an excess of burnable wood now due to the fact that I don't have a wood fire in the house. So in the spirit of going off grid, ultimately one day we will. Wood is a good thing if you've got an excess of wood, or you've got a forest you can get dead fall and stuff like that out of, but here we don't. We live in a sort of urban area, slightly. So we run on gas a little bit. So if you're living in an off-grid type of situation, or you want to get to one, or whatever you want to do, or thinking of building one of these just for the pure sport of it really, or something you like to do, cook outside like I do, I'd highly recommend it. Highly recommend making one of these. Pretty simple construction really. Bit of mild steel. I will have to say that I did use a press brake in places, but I'm sure if you rock down to a engineering type firm, they will be able to assist you in that with limited expense. There's not else a lot to it. 5-inch grinder and a bit of welding. And if you think you can't weld, I'd recommend give it a go. It's not too bad, yeah. So anyway, I have had inquiries from the US of people wanting to get them. But I custom make them, and these are just prototypes, so these are the only ones I made. The first one I made I did sell to a person quite a wee way north of here, and they did email me back about 6 months later wanting to buy another one, but I don't have the facility at the moment to make them. What I do have, or what I will have soon, if I get enough interest in it, is I will have rudimentary designs and plans that I can help people with the making of them, if that's what they want to do. And once again, if you leave something in the comments, I'll do my best to help you out if you're trying to get one going. Have cooked a fair few meals in here, a few roasts and everything else. The only issue I would have is that's quite a small box. But of course, if you're making it yourself, you can make it a little bit better, a little bit bigger. And ultimately, yeah, I don't have the abundance of wood like I might have said anymore, with no wood fire inside, so I've gone to gas, and that's the next prototype we'll go over now and have a good look at. Yes, gas oven, a few innovations in it, a few things I didn't know if they'd work. I tried them anyway, and yeah, had a lot of success with it, done a few cooks in that. So without any more much said on it, we'll proceed and we'll have a look at the new oven, eh? So there she is. This is my old outdoor oven, or not my old one, this is my new one, my third prototype. If you can see that. I'll just reveal this. What have we got on here? And there it is. And like I said, it's a prototype, it's a work in progress. So what I've got the actual oven underneath. So as you can see, with the gas bottle on the side there, the old LPG. So the concept will be, or is, to go with a 3-ring cooker on top and the oven inside. And a quick overview. There she lies. So 2 shelves, and I think they call those an infrared element underneath, and we'll take a closer look in a minute. So a few innovations, stainless steel as you can note, except for the top. So without too much more jibber jabber here, this is where I keep it. That piece of stuff under there is just to stop any fat and grease and stuff coming down, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And the only problem I've had with it so far this here, and the position that it's in, this is very susceptible, if you're ever thinking of getting one, very susceptible to wind. Doesn't like wind at all. So yeah, let's drag around the corner because it needs a good clean out. Strip it down a little bit and I'll take a closer look. So there we are, we just rolled around into our proposed site for our outdoor kitchen. Hopefully, maybe. So we'll just have a wee look at the overall dimensions really to start with. So what I've made this here, for anyone who's interested, 880, around about 35 inches, if I got that right. A few people in Northern Hemisphere is to a place. And we're 20 and a half, 52, 520 millimeters, 20 and a half inches, and the depth of it here is 400 millimeters, 51 and a bit inches, yeah. So one thing I have done, which you'll note, from the wood-fired ovens, I've gone a lot bigger in my firebox. So my firebox dimensions overall there are 770. I think that's 30 inches-ish. Inside we're looking at a depth of 14 inches, 360, and a height of 400, 15 and a half inches around about, roughly. So that's what we got there. So I'll bring the camera in and we have a bit of a closer look on the inside. You can see what I've done in here. Cool. So before we get carried away with the inside, we'll just look at the outside and the basic construction. If you're thinking of making one, the outside is 1.6 stainless steel, 1.6 millimeter. Don't know what that is in inches. The inside box here is 3 mil. And what I've done on the outside is I've just folded that around and down, notched the corners, and then made 2 sides and folded it in. Got a weld up there, round there, and down the other side. I'll show you here. So effectively welded there and around there, yep. Being 1.6, they've got minimal distortion. There's a little bit, but it's not too bad. So that's the outside box. The inside box is 3 mil, like I said. So I've folded like like that, a C shape as such, and then put 2 sides on it, yeah. And then that just fitted in. Put a 3 mil band around here, if you can see that. Stitched that on. Unfortunately, we do get a bit of moisture in here when it rains, but stainless, it's not too bad. And then I've countersunk, screwed that in. Well, not all countersunks, but yeah, you know what I mean. Screwed that in there effectively. So what we got is a 2-inch, I think, on either side and around there. And what I've done my best to do is insulate it. So there's insulation. I used rock wool insulation, which is, don't know if that's a good idea. I just had some spare. So I put that in the top, down the back, and as much as I could get in the sides. So that's the basics of the construction. So that's the inside. You can sort of see or not see, hopefully. So what I've done, I've folded up some channel sinks here, and they're just screwed through to the 3 mil, and that's why I made that 3 mil, so I could screw through it. Also, the heat won't distort it so much, and there's not a lot of distortion when I welded that together. Just welded around those sides on the other side. And the bottom here, what I've done, due to the fact that I needed the height, and I'll show you the rest of the stuff that goes in there in a minute, I've got this infrared, or I think they call it that, I'm not sure, but it's actually a burner, ceramic gas burner. Got it off AliExpress. They said it was stainless, but I don't know if you can see down there. We'll have a look later, maybe a bit of rust coming on there. These screws here haven't corroded or anything else, but you can see these ones here are, and I'm thinking that those screws aren't stainless. But anyway, they said, so I didn't really know what I was doing. I've never used one of those before, didn't know if it would work, but here we go. So what I've done is cut the bottom out, quite a big piece out of the bottom, and I've folded up these little tabs, because I didn't know what else to do, and that's sunk in there. You'll note there's air gaps around there. So I've insulated down to the side, come to about there, and I want air to flow through it. What I've also done is put a series of holes through here, because I'm not sure too much about gas, and I would highly recommend, if you're thinking of doing this, that you consult someone who does know about gas, but I didn't, so I gave it a go. I don't want gas building up and creating a bomb as such. So, and also, I don't know how much air it needs coming in top here, if it needs any, but if it does, air to come up in to feed the flame, yeah? So that's why I've got the air vents there. And underneath, we'll have a look in a minute, there's a bit of an air gap under there too for that burner. So ultimately this burner can come out, and this piece here can come out as well, just for the sake of cleaning, which we'll get into in a minute. So we see we have a little bit of a squiz at the bottom. So that there is the bottom of the insulation. and you can see how I've made this piece here probably 2 inches so it sticks just out. And the reason for that is if you look over there, you'll see I need a clearance there and I don't want it getting too hot around that hose. So I've stuck that out, and you can see how I've got the air gap around here, just so she doesn't build up pressure, get ponding the gas, it can run out, do what it's got to do here. So that's quite simple. I've just cut the insulation out, and as you've seen, just put that in the bottom there, yeah? So that's how that works. Simple as that. So continuing on with a little inside look here, you can see I've got some bolts here. What I've done is cut the ends off naturally. I've drilled that out and tapped it. I think they're 10 mil, or maybe a bit bigger, I don't know. But what they are for is I've folded up this bit of sheet metal. This is stainless again. I think it's 2 mil. And it just sits over there like that. And the theory behind that is that any fat or stuff which overflows or crap and corruption comes down should run onto that, drip onto here and run through those holes before it gets to the burner. Because I don't know how effective that burner will be if it gets clogged up with junk, and I don't know how easy it is to clean. That ceramic in that burner is quite fragile, so yeah, learnt that the hard way. What I've also done is folded up some more 3 mil, folded up a little bit more 3 mil, and made these trays. So normally, when I'm running it, I'll just run one tray, but I have put in 2 trays in the past naturally. So I think that doesn't matter, top bottom, put them where you like. So that's how they go, yeah. Like that. So it is quite a good big box, and it works pretty good, so I'm happy with that. So if we focus down on the hinges, you can see what I've done there. I'll put some little doubler plates on here, about a 3 mil to step them out, and I think they call those coupling nuts. What they are, there's a 12 mil bolt gone through it, so I've just bought some coupling nuts, I've drilled them right through, put the bolt through, got nylux on there. Now what does happen here, with the heat in the door, because it's not insulated, it does bend a bit and lock it up, but it's still pretty good. I just loosen these a little bit and it still works pretty good when the heat comes on. So yeah, that's that part there. These little beasties on the side are probably one of the most expensive parts on it. Almost as expensive as, what was I saying? Almost as expensive as the burner itself. So what they are, I'm not exactly sure what they're called anymore. It was a while ago I bought them, but they are, I think they're spring-loaded door holders, automatic or spring-loaded door holders. So all I do is lift it up, and you can see the other half there, and they hook in, so that holds it, so I don't have to have any elaborate sort of springing system. I did think of putting something different on it, like a normal oven door with springs and so forth, but I couldn't figure it out. And then I thought of gas struts, but yeah, didn't think they'd perform in the heat, so I didn't do that. So yeah, they work pretty good. Only sometimes you need 2 hands to open it, but normally, yeah, simple as that, they're pretty good. So I'm running it on just a normal LPG BBQ type bottle. So yeah, that's pretty good. I think it's a 9 kg, but it could be wrong on that. But one thing I am using, I don't know if you need it or you don't need it, but I had it on my forge, so I've got myself a 30 psi regulator, which is only barely on, and we'll look at that when we start running it. And the reason I did that, you can see that in the footage, is because the connection on the burner is a little bit different to what you normally get, so this is what fitted and worked, so that's what I did. And one small point, which would probably irrelevant to anybody, but it doesn't matter, what I have read and what I've been told is these ends here, if you can see that, you don't want to leave them exposed too long. You can note on this one here how you can't note because you can't see it, but if you look closely at when I showed you, I've got a little bit of tape on it, because apparently the insects like the smell of the gas and the residue and whatever else, and they like to crawl in there and build their little nests, and I've had that happen before. So then they get blocked up. Very fine jets in these gas stuff, and once they're blocked, they're real hard to unblock. So just, yeah, again, all learning, food for thought. So that's pretty much the basic fabrication of the beastie. What I have also made is a bit of it, probably, yeah, anyway. That's just a rack I made out of, if you're thinking of making something like this, just 3.2 TIG wire, rattled together. And I made myself, this is, I think it's 1.2 millimetres thick steel sheet, stainless steel, and yeah, it works really well for an oven tray. It's pretty big, so that's all cool. So we put that in there. So in time, at the moment, all I can do is run either that or that. I can't run them both at once. In time, what I'll do on that side over there is I will put a valve, some splitter or valve, once I talk to someone who knows about gas, because I don't. So at the moment, I just run that top one or the bottom one. In time, like I said, what I potentially will do before that is get 2 gas bottles, because I've got another regulator which runs this all right. So that's what we'll work on as well, is getting that sort of sorted out. So we'll shut that. And like I said earlier, this works really good, except when it's blowing in the wind, which is why this proposed outdoor kitchen site is probably better than anywhere else. We do get winds coming from that direction, whatever it is, and this is pretty inefficient in the wind. It's supposed to be a camping one, but oh well, it is what it is. So we'll get it here and get it a little bit secluded, and hopefully it works a little bit better. I did make this here windshield, and the theory being that I'd poke it over there like that, and that would protect the burner from the wind. That's the theory anyway. Yeah, as waste of times go, this is one of them. Didn't actually do anything, didn't help at all, didn't work at all, hence the PVC's not on it. I mean, it's still on it, and as soon as I get back to work, it will be thrown in the scrap bin to contribute to the social club money. But anyway, just so you know, so what I need to do is sort of put this somewhere better. I can avoid that wind. Anyway, all learning. Apart from that, we can cook a heap in there. It doesn't get too hot under here. Like I said, it gets hot on the door. The sides and the back doesn't get really very hot at all, and underneath really no heat to speak of. Well, of course there is, but not to damage anything. So that's about it, the basic construction, and works really, really well. So moving forward, we'll take that burner out, have a look at that in a bit more detail, because I'll need to clean it out on the inside. And that's a good thing about an outdoor oven, is you can bring it out here, you can get your water blaster or your hose or whatever and just give it a hose. So we'll take this bottom burner bit out and we'll go and have a bit of a squiz on the old bench or something, if I can find the right Allen key. So like I said, the inside is 3mm, and the reason I've done that is just so I can drill and tap through it, yeah. Hopefully these don't bind up. If you ever use stainless fasteners, use some sort of anti-seize on it. This is an oven though, so use food grade, I guess, would be an appropriate thing to do. But yeah. And so far so good. Actually, might as well take the burner out too. That insert I think was 3mm as well, so yeah. So if you can see that clear enough, which you probably can't, but there's the burner. If it shows up in the video down that side there's definitely some rust, eh? So that would suggest that, oh no, it's full of water. That would suggest that she's not all stainless steel. The bottom part, probably not. So I have to remedy that. But anyway, it is what it is. So there we are. So that's the burner that I decided to use, and there's various sizes you can buy online. And I was going to put 2 of them this size in, but one of them's definitely adequate enough. So lengthwise, what we're looking at is 500mm or 20 inches, around about, I think. And widthwise, we're looking at 100mm or 4 inches. There we go. And like I said, you can see these screws are on the outside, just fix it to that bottom insert. These ones here, gone a bit crusty. Also, it was totally advertised as stainless steel, but obviously the base of it isn't. So there. Again, live and learn. And on here we've got a valve. This one here, just a valve that does the old jet and all the rest of it. So I bought that wired up and I've put that on. I just hose clipped that off the forge onto there. I'll bring that over here and you can see crap and corruption everywhere. And it's obviously getting a bit of moisture in it, so I'll have to try and remedy that somehow in the future. But apart from that, she still works. So what I'm going to do is delicately take that top off, which you might see, you might not, and just see if I can replace those with something stainless. Give that a scrub up and put it back in, yeah. Too long, methinks. No, blows on. Now I might have said before, I might not have, this stuff here, I wouldn't attempt to take it out because it's very fragile. You can't see, but it's cracked in the corners from me trying to do that. Yeah, better off to let it alone. But obviously this is not stainless steel down here. So what I'm going to do is let it dry out, spray it with some silicone spray, and we'll hope for the best. Hopefully it doesn't taint the food. Just going to use a bit of this dirty old CRC 808 silicone surface, multi-surface, protects against moisture, non-staining and odourless, reduces friction and wear, revives and protects. I use that quite a lot with my knife making and so forth, which I haven't done for a while, but this is the best I can do, I'm afraid to say. So that's what we'll have to do. So originally the idea was, naturally I'd had no idea how to make a gas burner. I've actually made barbecues before, but this type of burner I had no idea what to put in the bottom. So I figured, probably naively, but never mind, I would buy one, put it in, and if it doesn't last, at least I've got the design that I can use to make my own one. That's the theory anyway, but it's going not too bad. I've just got to, like I said 1,000 times, I've just got to stop that moisture, obviously. So we'll just quickly put it back together now, give it a bit of a clean up, which you didn't see, but it doesn't matter. And then we'll fire it up, yeah, get rid of some of this moisture. And so you can see how it works, yeah? Oh, got me. Cool, survived. Yeah. Not working. There we go. So we'll give it a fire up. Naturally turn on the gas bottle. That regulator should be set to where it needs to be, which is minimal if anything. So normally I'll turn it on, open her up, and you got that little gauge which is underneath here, if you can see that. Probably can't. It comes up to heat pretty quick. Might take a bit to start now because she's a bit moist, but what I have found is you get a bit of a fire going on there, a bit of a flame as such. You need to let that, whatever you call it, element heat up a little bit. If I go and do this too soon and shut that too quick, it's sort of the pressure blows it out. Once it's going, it's not a problem, it's not an issue. Like I say, and it does come up to heat pretty quick. So you just got to make sure they're all burning because of the old moisture here. This is really just the spark part that works. So if I do that and get a flame, which you probably can't see, which we do have. So that being that, now it uses minimal gas. I've normally got that gas pressure pretty much turned just about off. So what I'll do, I'll shut the doors usually. I've got my cheap little thermometer in front here. What I do a lot of is cooking bread, so I need it up to about just under 300 Fahrenheit, 150 C. Then I'll come around here and I'll listen to it if I can reach. Grab my valve and just tweak it down. And it does come up to temperature pretty good. So we'll have a wee squiz of that here. So I don't know if that's shown up too clearly in the video, but that ceramic is starting to change colour, get a little bit red. So we'll close the door and we'll do a little bit of real-time video on the thermometer, and you can see what's going on with that and how quickly she heats up. Let's do it. Like I said, when you first shut the door till the heat builds up, you just need to be gentle. So hopefully that focuses on the old thermometer. So in the 30-40 seconds it took me to adjust that a little bit, to shut that door and adjust my tripod and so forth. You can see how quickly she's heated up. It usually takes me about 5 minutes to get to 150 or 300 Fahrenheit, which is where I cook bread. I normally wind it up quite slow, so it normally takes me, well, I can't remember what I just said, but about 15 minutes maybe, depending how I do it. That's at a quarter of a turn there because I'm turning up to get the moisture out, so I'm not too worried. Yeah, so you don't have to put much in it at all. You can see the moisture coming out of the bottom in there. So normally what I'll do, I'll just tweak it. Now one thing that is an advantage on this, if I bring this up slowly, unlike a wood-fired stove, which you have a little control over, if I bring that up real slow, I can maintain it there for about quite a while actually, half an hour. Easy. I can hold the position of that, or the temperature, pretty much where I want it. And then I just listen to this thing as I turn it down. It's turned right down, she's still going up. The other thing to bear in mind with this, I don't know why, but if I go too hard too soon and it gets over to here, the flame will blow itself out and flutter. If I bring it up slowly, I can get temperatures up to, I have had it up to nearly 600 Fahrenheit, which is way too high because I never cook anything like that, so it can do it. But normally, yeah, I'll cook meat up and around the old 200 something or other, I don't know. I'm not a chef, but this is where I normally keep it. So you can see how quickly they went up. And we'll let it get to about 200. It's still going. I've turned it down quite a way, probably an eighth of a turn on, just to get that moisture out of that, whatever it is. So there she is, my old gas-fired third prototype outdoor oven, ready for the cooking. A few tweaks that need to be made, a few things I tried which I didn't know if they'd work, but they did. So that's what I did, and hopefully you've, yeah, any questions or anything you want to know, just let me know naturally, and I'll try and help you out. It seems to work pretty fine. What I would recommend you do, if you're going to muck around with the gas, which I didn't, which is probably not the best idea, is find someone who knows what they're doing. There are hazards associated with gas, as you will well know, so we don't want to burn yourself or have something go wrong. But anyway, it works well. And if you want to see me cook something in it, just again let me know in the comments. Yeah, I've got a video on making bread, pretty rough, but it got there. I've sort of perfected, or I've think I've perfected my process at this point in time. Yeah, anything else? I've cooked roasts in it, roast potatoes, roast lamb, cooked pork, all sorts. Yeah, it works really well. I'm happy with it. You can see what it's up to now, and it's only been about, couldn't tell you, probably 5-10 minutes, to be honest, because I've got it a lot higher than I usually do, and it's up to 200 degrees inside. You can see, I talked about before, if you can see that in the video, it's quite hot there, can't touch it. The sun's on it naturally, I can touch it there, I can touch the back, and I can touch the side. So I don't know if the rock wool insulation was the best thing to use, but it seems to be doing it and holding the heat in. And the other advantage over the wood-fired one with that is that, like I said, you can control that heat pretty well, pretty good actually. I can hold it there on 150 or just under and cook my bread and do what I got to do. So yeah, all good. That being said, I think I'll leave you with a little bit of an outro of a fast forward of a ship going through the sea. Why not? There we go.